Okay. Right now I'm using the Cyber Commander for a double set of Pulsey Buff Studio Einstein units. What point am I trying to prove here? What's to talk about? Well, I keep hearing everybody peep, and I'll be the first one to complain about anything. Obviously, as my nature. Let me turn that off here. There we go. Turn off the Fuji. Everybody complaining about, oh my god, the ecosystem for studio and speedlight use on the Fuji is inadequate. Is there any truth to that? No, it's complete and total BS. So let's tackle one. Here's the Cyber Commander unit, by the way. Let's tackle one, and then let's talk about the other one. The last one will be the one that people think they have the most fault with. Since most people aren't using the Fuji in a studio setting. So what's the case? Does Fuji have much in the way of dedicated lights or TTL units? No, they don't. Do I have any complaints about that? No, I don't, because there's absolutely nothing that I can do with my Nikon that I cannot also do with the Fuji. We all know Nikon's been around for decades, so has Canon. So what exactly is lacking with the Fuji system, if anything at all? Well, the answer is nothing. Now, I could, but I don't want to because I've got a mountain, literally, of Nikon speedlights, both old ones and new ones, and little cheapy ones. Do not need the Fuji EF42, but let's get to that in a second. There's nothing that I can do. I can hook up 9 different studio strobes if I want. I mean, do whatever I want in the studio with my Fuji camera. Okay, I got the Commander and the Cyber Commander. I have a PC sync connector on the front of my Fuji X-T1, but even if I were using the Fuji X-T10 that does not have a PC sync connector, and you don't necessarily need to have one, you could just use a pop-up flash and obviously use that in Commander mode, but I could use this little Nikon AS15 that has a PC sync connector on the front, stick that on the top of my Fuji X-T10. I would not normally put that on the X-T1 here because it already has a PC sync connector right up here. And then I could use any studio strobes that I want, or the easiest thing to do, this is the cheap route of course. I'm going to talk about the cheap route and then the expensive route. I can simply pluck on a pocket wizard. And there are more than a few videos out there of some professional studio photographers that were using the Fuji X-T1 in the studio using a pocket wizard hooked up to their studio strobes. I've got 2 of them off camera right now. An Einstein 640 over there and another one right behind me, another Einstein 640. So there's absolutely nothing, and there's nothing that you could say. They say, well, I can't do it in the studio with a Fuji. That is BS. Total BS. It's total nonsense. Not true. The most useful tool that I have in the world, in addition to that, is a ABR 800. I can use it. It's the best macro ring light in the world after my modification, which you can see in another video. But it's also a beauty ring light that creates some of the most gorgeous portraitures you've ever seen. This is the most valuable and indispensable tool that I have. You can pop a Nikon here, you can pop the Fuji up here. I could use this ring light with the Fuji easily. I could use the Fuji. I've already used this ring light in a couple portrait shots with the 56mm and the Fuji X-T1. Works perfectly fine. I mean, all of this stuff is manual. Is there something that you're missing in studio? Everybody keeps talking about TTL. It reminds me of somebody that buys an expensive camera and then asks you where the program mode button is so they can use it in douchebag mode. Well, if you're a professional photographer of any merit whatsoever, you know, be it bottom of the totem pole or up on the top, you know, all of this expensive studio stuff is manual, okay? Manual. You're going to learn how to use the light. It's not that difficult. I do not need TTL studio strobes, nor does anybody else. We've been getting by without them for decades. I do not have that using a Nikon. How is this any different than using my Fuji? It isn't any different. I stick this on the top of my hot shoe. of, or I could actually plug this into my PC Sync connector on my Fuji, which, by the way, even my $2,000 Nikon D750 doesn't have a PC Sync connector on the front of it, which is why I have to use this little adapter unit. So my actually Fuji X-T1 has a PC Sync connector, where my $2,000 Nikon D750 doesn't. Incredible. I've used this at great length now with the Fuji X-T1. My most indispensable tool in the world, and by the way, you know, unless you're strapped for cash or something, there's nothing on this earth that will pay for itself quicker than buying an ABR 800. You can use it as a studio strobe with the accessory unit that comes with this for lets you dropping in an umbrella, or you could stick a beauty dish or a moon unit on this. It is incredibly indispensable. And using a Vagabond portable power pack, I can go totally portable with this. So, does the Fuji have any issue using this? No. Does the Fuji have any issue using my Einstein Studio strobes? Well, no. Is there anything at all, even the slightest bit, that I can't do in the studio with my Fuji that I can't also do with my Nikons? No. 100% no is the answer. Okay, that ends that. Studio, 100%. Fuji, 100%. Largest ecosystem in the world for studio use. You know, Mamiya, Nikon, Hasselblad doesn't make any difference. I can still do it with the Fuji, with no hassles or interruptions or issues. No problem at all. Whether it's a Pocket Wizard, or like my Cyber Commander, or my Commander trigger, no problem. Use it with the Fuji. So that takes care of studio stuff. So there's no argument there. I keep hearing everybody peep, chirp, 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 chirp. One of the weak systems of the Fuji is the fact that, you know, it doesn't have a ecosystem for... Most of the people, most of them, are chirping about TTL, okay? And if you want that, you can get the Fuji EF42, which is basically a Sunpack PZ42X, but with the Fuji hot shoe configuration. And then you'll need either the expensive Canon wired cable. It's just like this. This is the Nikon one. It basically looks like this, except it's not made as well. Or you can get the $20 Pixel FC-311/S. That's $20. That's the Pixel FC-311/S. So you can, just like with my Nikon speed lights that I can use in auto mode or manual mode, I can. Now you do not need the expensive SC29 flash cable like I'm using here. So right now, let me do this. Let's just pretend this is the cheap $15 SC17 flash cable, which is all you need for the Fuji, since I'm not going to be using TTL, and I cannot do that with my Nikon speedlights, but I don't, because auto is 95% as accurate as TTL. Do not need TTL with my Nikon speedlights and my Fuji. Okay, but you can do that if you buy the Fuji EF42 speedlight and the Canon cable, or the generic one for $20. So there's no weak link there. The Fuji sponsored shooters are doing the same thing that I was showing you to do. Now you can buy whatever sort of a cheapy speedlight you want. I recommend the SB800 Nikon. Now use an auto mode. This is what quenches the flash. And what I do is, oh, this is really, really difficult. Plop. Well, here we go. I forgot I had the Velcro on that side. Excuse me. Plop. Pop my secondary Pocket Wizard. You want to use cheaper triggers? That's fine. I prefer the really good stuff. Put my cable in here to my PC Sync. Hold out my speedlight. Boom. This is actually not the one that I have Velcro on the top of it. My other SB28, I have Velcro on the top, which is where you'd want it. So this is actually how it should be configured, with this off of here. Okay, and no cable at all on my Fuji X-T1. So stick my Pocket Wizard here on my Fuji X-T1. Okay, boom, boom. Handheld. When I bring it out like this, throw it in my jacket pocket. When I want to use it, pop it out, use it. Whip out the bounce reflector, which also works better in auto mode than TTL does. Okay, easy enough, right? Oh my God, so simple. Obviously, you don't have to have an expensive SB910. That's really overkill, and it's an expensive speedlight. You can use even the cheap stuff. So that's another option. Something else that works is equally well with this as Nikon. We're talking about something different. I use these little suckers for background illumination. Okay, now how do I use them? Well, here's something everybody should have a 5-pack of, and it'll run you like $8. It's a cold shoe. It's a 1/4-inch tripod socket to the bottom to cold shoe. Okay, you see what it is? You can buy a 5-pack for $8. Most indispensable tool that you'll ever have. Okay, what I've done is I've stuck this on a $10 little Joby job. I'll use these as light layering devices for my shot. I'll like back up someone's dress with it, or I'll have it pointing at a tree out of the way where you actually can't see it in the composition. And then what I do is, let me take this out and let me show you, is I use this specific cable. Since there's no PC sync connector on this really cheapy Nikon SB23, how do I use it with my pocket wizards? Or your cheap Chinese Yongnuo. You use a hot shoe like this, you pop in your SB23, you stick that on your Joby. Okay, you get some Velcro up here on the top of this one, which I don't have on the top of this one right now. You pop this into your pocket wizard. Boom! Easy solution. This works absolutely no different than the Nikon ecosystem does. For manual light layering, specifically I use this for background, but you could use it for anything. You could use it for like a time exposure. You can use it for light painting. This is no different. This is no different. Now, by the way, I talked to Pocket Wizard today. There's a nice chick to call me up, and I knew about this one that was coming out. It's the +4. Now, obviously, you would not want to use this on top of your Fuji, because, or any speed light for that matter, because obviously it's too heavy. But what you can do, and then she told me that it's coming out in January, and it's going to be available for Fuji TTL. For all you lazy D-bags out there, they think you got to have TTL, when in fact you don't. What you could do is you can plop this on the top of your Fuji, just the unit only, and then stick a sync cable, a coiled sync cable like I have over here. You know, coiled sync cable like SC17, which is only $15. Oh my god, so cheap. And if you want to do off-camera TTL flash photography, then you'd put your coiled sync connector cable on top of the Pocket Wizard +4, which is what this is, and you can do off-camera TTL with the speed light that way. Oh, so simple. So what is all this hippie twaddle that you'll see it everywhere. You type in Fuji X-T1, Fuji X-T2. Well, you know, the weak link in the Fuji is that it doesn't have much speed light support. Well, what do you want? I mean, there's 30 plus years of these incredible old Nikon speed. I'd rather have, if Fuji came out tomorrow with this bulletproof speed light system. They've already come out with a TTL speed light, which is a Fuji TTL speed light, which is a Fuji EF42. But even if they came out with a bulletproof one tomorrow, they know, and you don't know apparently, that you should be buying these anyway. Use them in auto mode, okay? Either completely wirelessly or on a SE17 flash sync cable. If you cannot nail it with one of those, you've got some serious issues. That's like someone that's saying, I can't use my camera in aperture priority, or I definitely can't use it in manual mode. I mean, it's literally that bad. I mean, that's like, these are the people that complain that they have to have TTL on their speed lights for off-camera. No, you don't. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I mean, any professional that's worth 2 cents is going to roll their eyes, you know, and flick a booger in your face for saying that's something that's stupid. So all these people out there saying, well, you know, I don't think I should get a Fuji because there's no real flash support. I've just shown you that I could do 100% everything I could do with my Nikon system, with my studio strobes and my AVR 800, which is the most indispensable tool in the world, by the way, that I can with the Fuji. Fuji, Nikon, no difference in studio. What's the difference outside of that? Well, I'm going to buy some Nikon speed. I don't have to buy them. I've already got a mountain load of them. My Nikon speed lights and shoot in either manual or auto, which is 95% as good as TTL anyway. I can layer the light all day long. I could use an SB 900 and an additional one or 800s. It depends on which speed light it is. And I can actually use this in master mode and the other one's in commander mode, and 100% exactly the same as a Nikon. No difference. I'm triggering this sucker as mastering, stick this in master mode, the other one's in commander mode. I can layer light all day long on the Fuji system, absolutely 100% identical to the Nikon system. So this is all crapola. It's just crap. Crap, 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 crap. So in the studio, the Fuji is exactly the same thing as an Nikon or Canon, so much for that BS. Get yourself, whoops, hit the tripod there a second. Get yourself a couple cold shoes like this, and some of these little cheap little Joby tripods, and mount a cold shoe right there, and use that for background illumination. This will really actually expand your photography great when you learn to layer light like this. And this is the dumbest speed light in the world. You can grab these. And like I said, it's got no PC sync connector on it. You can grab these for about $24 a piece. They're just dirt cheap. That's the SB23. Doesn't matter what it is. Even the cheap Chinese junk. Who cares? But just don't. Just so much BS out there that you can't do it with the Fuji. The flash ecosystem isn't there yet. And that's nonsense. I've shown you right now fact proof that this is crap. So, and I'm the first one to bitch and complain about anything. So, anytime someone that tells you that, well, I love the Fuji, it's a wonderful camera, I use it for a little bit, but what about flash? I don't think it's there yet. Yeah, it is. Oh, this doesn't have Fuji's name on it. Well, so what? Works perfectly fine with Fuji in automatic mode and manual, using commander mode. I could stack up 5, 6, 7 different speed lights if I need to. And it works 100% exactly the same in the studio, so you got no excuses there. So that's total BS. So no excuse, it's over with. Thank you for watching. I hope to help you out some and gave you some different options to think about for your Fuji ecosystem as far as flash photography and strobist work, because there is no real deficiency. What's the inverse of hype? It is like anti-hype. There's a bubble of anti-hype that surrounds Fuji that it is not up to par when it comes to its flash and studio strobe. It's a strobist interface. And this is BS. I've proven it. Okay? Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.